Hey everyone, welcome to Key Skill 2. We're going to start learning all of our rules for logarithms. Logarithms, like surds and like indices, have a set of rules that tell us what we can and cannot do. The first question we're going to do is a proof. If you're thinking about doing Maths University, you're going to do lots and lots and lots of proofs. Okay, now what this proof is basically telling us is what you can do if you're adding together logarithms and they have the same base. So what I mean by logarithms, the same base, is you see this little number here? In order for you to simplify, that needs to be the same. So you couldn't add a log with a little 3 here with a log with a little 5 there. That's just not going to fly. So you can simplify, if they've got a plus symbol between them, you can simplify from having 2 logs added together to having 1 log. And what you do is you would multiply together this number and this number. We're going to get down to some numerical examples in a minute. Let's go through the proof and see why that works. I'm going to be a little bit lazy here. I already wrote this proof out for my ebook. I'm going to link the ebook in the description below. If you want the ebook to check it out, to have all the exam questions and the multi-choice questions, check out the description. So here we go. You've got log a to the c equals y. Now we know from what we learned in Key Skill 1 about the uppercut rule. If that's true, the little a can punch the x in the air, and so b must be a to the x, and c must be a to the y. This may be one of the first proofs that you've ever learned. So I'm going to explain to you briefly how proofs work. With proofs, you start on one side of the equation and you do the math step by step by step until you finish on the other side of the equation. So in our case, I want to prove that log AB plus log AC is the same as equals to. Sometimes you might see a third line like that, equivalent to 1 logarithm with b multiplied by c inside the bracket. So I can either start here and work my way to that side, or I can start here and work my way to that side. Okay? In our example, we're going to start with the 1 logarithm where they've been multiplied together. So we're going to start with log b times c. So that means we're going to start here and we should end up at the end with 2 logarithms that have been added together. Starting with 1, finishing with 2. Okay? So the first line, we've got b times c. Now if we loop back up to here with what we learned about the uppercut rule, we can replace b with a to the x and we can replace c with a to the y. Now, from what you remember from your indices course, you should know that if you multiply these two together, that you can add the powers, okay? If you don't know that, okay, immediately stop and rewind and go all the way back to the indices course. You see, we talk about all of this good stuff here in the indices course. Okay. We can change from a to the x times a to the y to a to the x plus y. We just add together these little guys. Now, we know that when we solve a logarithm, we ask ourselves, which power of a is, in this case, which power of a is this? So if we go back to the first one, we asked ourselves things like, which power of 3 is 27? But if we'd rewritten this as log 3, and instead of 27, 3 to the 3, we would have easily seen that that is 3. Okay, I'm going to use another example, way too many 3's there. But say, for example, we're using this one. We can rewrite log 4, instead of 64, 4 to the 3. So we know that 64 is 4 to the 3, so it's the third power. So when we're looking at this proof here, we can see that we know that the power of a is a to the x plus y. That's by definition. We know which power this is. Now here, we know that x, if we go right back to what we started with, x is log AB, y is log AC, so we've got to the end. We started with the multiplication, and we finished at the end with the two different logs added together. If that's a little bit complicated, don't worry too much, stick with me and we're going to do some practical examples now. Okay, so how would this look with numbers? Log 3 to which power would be 27? Well, we know that this is the same as 3, so that would be 3. Now here, this would be the same as 3, 2. 9 is 3 squared, so that would be the same as 2. Now, 27 times 9 would be 243. So that would need to be 3 power 5 for this to work. And you can check it is. 3 power 5 is 243. So when does it become useful in simplifying down logarithms? In this case here, if they've got the same base, what that effectively means is you can go from two logarithms that have been added together to one where you multiply. You need to multiply this with this. So in this case, 2 times x would be 2x. So I could express this as a single logarithm, as only one logarithm, by multiplying this with this. Now, let's go to question 4. I think we're going to need a little bit more space. So where this rule really becomes useful is when you're given complex algebraic expressions that have logs inside. Things that look a little bit nasty, like this. Now, you see this plus here? This plus here means that we can change from having two logs that are added together to having one log. Okay, so we're going to have one log, and inside here goes this multiplied by this. So x multiplied by x minus 5. And that's going to equal to 2. So we can multiply out this bracket. So this would be x squared minus 5x equals 2. Okay, we want to be able to actually solve this. So there's two ways to think about this. There's one way, which is our uppercut method, which says that x squared minus 5x is equal to 6 pushes up the 2. And the other way to think about it is, well, we know it's 6 and it's the second power. So the second power of 6 must be 36. So this has to be 36. That makes sense, right? If I've got a base 6, 36 is the second power. So x squared minus 5x must be the same as 36. Both of these will end up with exactly the same answer. Okay, so let's solve this. Let's bring everything, or the 36 to one side, and open up your brackets. You want to multiply together to give minus 36 and add to give minus 5. So I'm going to do minus 9 times 4. Minus 9 times 4 is minus 36. Minus 9 plus 4 is minus 5. Good. That's going to give two solutions. Now, you're not allowed to have a minus number inside here. So there's not allowed to be any minuses inside here, okay? You can have a minus outside here, but not inside here. So I'm going to eliminate this answer minus 4. Let's check if 9 works, if 9 is going to be the correct solution. You don't get any extra marks for checking your solutions, but it does allow you to find out if you've got any mistakes. So if we've got 9, log 6, 9 minus 5 plus log 6, 9, which would be log 6, that would be here, that would be 4, plus log 6, 9. We can add these two together by timesing. 4 times 9, which is 36. And that would be 2. So we know, because we got an answer 2, when we checked it, that that's correct. Have we got any more? Yeah, last one, guys. Okay, here we go. We've got a plus, and they're both log base x. Remember, this rule only works if they're the same base. So log x, 32 times 2 equals 3. So log x, that's going to be 64, equals 3. So we need to think, what cubed gives an answer of 64. Okay, something cubed is 64, or, so that's the first way to think about it. 64 is something cubed, or to think, punch it up, uppercut, 64 equals x cubed. Either way, that's going to give you an answer of 4. You can take the cube root of 64, and that's going to be 4. And you can check it again. Log 4, 32, plus log 4, 2. Log 4, 32 times 2. That's going to work, right? 4 power what is 64, and the answer is 3. Okay, that's key skill 2, done and dusted. And the next key skill, we're going to be looking at a really similar rule, but it has a minus instead of a plus. It's kind of going to work in the same way, but a little bit more complicated. I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.